The years leading up to the Civil War were filled with tension between the North and South. Differences in their economies, technology, politics, and society strained their relationship and the unity of the country. But the most pressing issue may have been slavery, especially whether to allow new slaveholding states to enter the Union. Without slave labor, the South could not continue to grow massive amounts of cotton. Southerners feared that the end of slavery would bring about an economic collapse. They felt that only by having an equal number of free and slave states could they protect slavery. The issue came to a head in 1850 when California applied for admission as a state, a free state. The South threatened to secede or withdraw from the nation if the new state was admitted. Congress finally settled the issue with a compromise. California was admitted as a free state, but other areas in the West would be open to slavery if the people wanted. And Congress passed a tough new law that required the return of runaway slaves. Northerners protested this new law, the Fugitive Slave Act. Abolitionist Harriet Beecher Stowe was outraged by this law. She wrote a powerful novel, Uncle Tom's Cabin, to show how unjust slavery was. The novel illustrated one slave's humanity and suffering at the hands of his cruel master. The novel stunned Northerners who had been indifferent to slavery. Southerners were outraged, calling the book unfair propaganda. The debate over slavery in the territories focused next on Kansas and Nebraska. Illinois Senator Stephen Douglas proposed a new law in Congress. It allowed the majority of settlers in each territory to decide whether or not they would allow slavery in the area. This was called popular sovereignty. Pro-slavery and anti-slavery people began streaming into Kansas. They set up rival governments and began fighting each other. Kansas gained the nickname Bleeding Kansas from the bloody Civil War. While the fighting went on in Kansas, the Supreme Court issued a controversial decision in a case involving a slave named Dred Scott. The court said that Congress had no power to ban slavery anywhere, not even in the territories. Abolitionist John Brown had a bold plan to strike against slavery. In 1859, he led a band of followers to seize guns in Harper's Ferry, Virginia. Brown's plan was to lead slaves into a revolt. But the plan failed. Brown was captured, convicted of treason, and hanged. The debate over slavery had led to the forming of a new political party, the Republican Party. It vowed to block the spread of slavery to the territories. In 1860, Republican Abraham Lincoln was elected president. Southerners worried that Lincoln would move to end slavery in the South. Soon after Lincoln's election, South Carolina seceded from the Union, and 6 other states followed. They took over government-controlled post offices and forts. Jefferson Davis was elected as the president of the new nation these states formed, the Confederate States of America. But Lincoln refused to give up a fort in the harbor of Charleston, South Carolina, Fort Sumter. On April 12, 1861, Confederate gunners in Charleston opened fire on the fort. After being shelled for 34 hours, the troops inside the fort surrendered. With the shelling of Fort Sumter, the Civil War had begun.